Hey, I'm Brandy Sickels, and this is Break Free, Find Joy. I am not a therapist or a guru. I'm just someone who got tired of beating myself up and learned there's a better way. Here's what I've discovered: when you stop going to war with yourself and start getting curious instead, something magical happens. You finally have the energy to chase what actually matters to you. This is where we talk about breaking the cycles that keep us small and stuck so we can go after our dreams instead of just surviving them. If you're ready for that kind of freedom, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. And now the cat is meowing. We're just rolling with it. We had a busy weekend. Normally, I would record it on the weekend. I didn't. So we are running at it now. Can you hear the cat? He is aggressively asking for attention. You're going to have to hop up here, kitty cat. Mama's busy. Come on up, kitty. Jump up here. So this is what it looks like, just rolling with it and making it work. I don't even know if this is going to get finished like I wanted to on my lunch break so that I could go ahead and upload it, but that's okay. We're doing consistency over all things right now. Still putting in the quality, but a lot of this really is to continue to build up my self-trust and my confidence and all of those things, which coincidentally is the topic of today. So I this year I started PC gaming, and I had played on consoles before, like the PlayStation, Nintendo, a little bit of the Xbox and things like that. But really, if you're going to ask me my favorite games, I'm going to tell you stuff like Pac-Man and Dig Dug. Very simple things. It wasn't cooperative games. I mean, I really, really love Super Mario Brothers. I think Super Mario Brothers 3 is my favorite. Merlin's just going to be all up in this episode, apparently. But I had this idea that I couldn't be a gamer. I tried doing a little bit when I was in like late junior high, early high school. But the thing was, everybody was pretty competitive about it and die hard. And I had so much going on in my life that I just couldn't devote that much time to it, is what I'm seeing now. Anyway, people might think that gaming and personal growth are opposites, but it turns out they're actually best friends, or they can be with the right circumstances. So for me, introducing PC gaming into my life has been very foundational for building a different part of my self-trust and exercising a different part of my brain. Why? I'm going to just go ahead and have him go down on the floor here in a minute, but I didn't want him just meowing the entire time. The reason why it has been so foundational is, one, I was feeling a bit lonely at the beginning of 2025. Oh, I said at the beginning of this year, but I forget it's a whole new year. It's 2026, guys. Merlin, you're going to have to get down. You're scratching me. Thank you, kitty kitty. Beginning of 2025, I was home for the first 6 or 7 months of the year. I was no longer working at the factory, which I spent 13 years of my life with one company. It transformed a few times while I was in it, but still. And then another year within factory work still. Basically, my entire adult life, I've been in that industry. And when our jobs were not going to be renewed, I knew that I wanted to take this time to get serious about pursuing my dreams. If you go back and look, I didn't do what I necessarily thought I wanted to do, and looking back, what I should have done. But what happened, happened, and we're going to continue to move forward. So this podcast, my coaching offer, actually reaching out and coaching people and creating my community. During that time, my partner travels for half the year, so he's gone doing things, and so it was just me home alone with the kids. They go to daycare, so it was me home for 8 hours a day by myself trying to plug away on these things. And once I got my PC, which really is helping me with doing writing and the podcast as well, but it also connected me to this new world and new ways of creating community through gaming. It was not super intentional. I did want to get one because I had a friend who was gaming and her partner games, and I wanted to be able to join that just because I thought it would be fun, but I thought it was just going to be this little side thing. And I also was just curious because it's what I've learned. It says in the beginning of the podcast, really so much that I've learned about how to stop being so overly critical of myself and judgmental of myself has been getting curious. And I was in a rut and having all these things, just feeling stuck, and getting the computer was this whole new world of learning and things that I could be curious about. So I started playing different games. I'm very surprised. Comment below if you're listening right now and you don't know me and just hearing me talk. Please, I would love to know, just looking at me or hearing me speak, what games do you think I really enjoy? Also, if you have a recommendation, I'm totally open. All right. So, what I found that I really enjoy is very surprising to me is I really like Call of Duty, but the Warzone, or the ones where you're playing with your friends. I tried to get back into doing just the story mode, and it's not the same. There's more complexity to it and stuff. And what I used to like and enjoy and playing on my own, it just is not what I enjoy now. So that was very interesting to learn. Fortnite and the actual gaming of it, not there are some of the side little games, the mini games that I will play with my oldest, but again, just really like the actual gaming experience. It's funny because it's a little bit different. Also, keyboard and mouse all the way. I mentioned that I had played console before, and one of the things that always tripped me up is I was just not good with using the controllers. It just does not work for my brain. Everything is too close, I think. Like all the things that do different things, the hands are too close. Having a keyboard and mouse separates those. It just makes more sense to my brain. I don't think one is better or worse or whatever. I think it's whatever works for your brain. And that has been really, really fun. I also love scare games. I did not think so. School Hotel is one of the solo ones that has been interesting to learn. I played Phasmophobia for a little bit with some of the friends. That one was a little bit, I would say it takes more learning and things like that. And you want to play with people who know what they're doing. So I actually play more of Ghost Watchers. Again, something I've learned in the gaming community that's harder for me is people have really, really stern opinions on games. And if you like this, that one's trash because this one's better. I don't really subscribe to those ones. Again, I think it's all a preference. As long as you enjoy it, that's awesome. So Ghost Watchers is one that I play a lot. And I like to play that with other people. Turns out I'm not very good at playing that one solo. I don't know. It just gets me. I think because there's so much to do with it. Um, and then there's Chained Together. Are you picking up a theme? It's mostly games that you're playing together that are not high stakes, but they're fun and they create this connection. You're working with your communication and all of those type of things. And so it's been really interesting. I have been struggling to figure out a way to talk about all the things that I'm doing and have them connect. Here's the thing. I can totally game and not talk about my coaching offer, all of these other things. Like, not everything has to be related to business, but gaming has been very meaningful to me in an unexpected way of helping me create deeper friendships, connection, socializing, which I think a lot of people do get into gaming for. You might start playing a game because it's interesting to you, but a lot of times you also use that as a way of connecting with other people, just like people often do with bands, food, those type of things. I just never really did it. A lot of that was my self-talk was I'm not a gamer. I can't be a gamer. I'm not smart enough. I'm not coordinated enough. All these different things, these limitations that I put on myself, and letting those go and just really coming in it as I was not expecting to be good at anything. I wasn't expecting to like them. I was just expecting to hop on and play when they needed another player, because some of these games are um we wanted to play one and it needed 3 players. They had 2, and I was like, "Oh, I tried to download it on my um laptop at the time. It didn't work." And then there were other things I was trying to do with it at the time that was like, "Oh, well maybe it would just make sense to invest in a PC." And so obviously that's what we did. Um so all this to say, the reason why I want to talk about this and share my experience is also to talk about how I'm trying to move forward in 2026 with this intention of alignment. And I love gaming, and there are going to be times where I'm just gaming and I'm not streaming, or I'm streaming, but I'm still just gaming. I'm not going to be talking about anything else. But I feel like I'm doing myself and some others a disservice by not finding a way to share the good things that are happening from gaming and just kind of bridging the two worlds. I have seen, I think it really started to become possible in my head when I've seen a few therapists who get on and they just play games on their live streams, and then they do have it to where people can ask them questions, and they just kind of have really light topic conversations. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I was hoping to do that kind of midway last year, but I was really just struggling on being like, what does that even look like? Full disclosure, I'm still learning. It's just I now am embodying the fact that it's like, oh, these things are connected. You can see people who come into the gaming looking for connection and they don't have the skills and tools to create the relationships, like form the bonds that they're looking for, and they actually do things that are counterproductive that really push people away from them. And that's another thing that I was like, oh, i I don't think that they're necessarily bad people or whatnot, but they might not have the tools. Because for a long time in my life, I definitely tended to push people away or suffocate people with just it was my personality, guys. I don't know how to explain it. I very much was afraid that I was replaceable, or I thought that I had to do so much to earn friendship, to earn love, and all of these things that I now understand wasn't necessarily true and actually really rubbed people the wrong way. Also, a good time to bring up, this could also partly be to the fact that I was late diagnosed ADHD. I didn't have that information about myself, as well as it's very likely autism and other things. I have a child who has ADHD and autism, and learning about that, the way our brains process things, all of these different things has been incredibly helpful and eye opening for me, and has helped me be able to come into gaming and really working alongside other people in the games and create those good bonds, not take somebody's what do you call it? Oh my gosh, I just completely blinked. Not the attitude, but kind of their mood personally when they're upset about something with the game, which sometimes, yeah, you're going to be like, why are you so upset? But I have the tools now to be like, oh, okay, it's not that big of a deal. Or if they are that upset with something, then they can talk to me about it. It's not my job to chase that and to do all the repairs and all these things. So it's been a place where I've been able to exercise all of the tools that I've gained in my life through the reading, the coaching programs, and all these other things. And now I'm like, oh, I want to share that and to pay that forward in all areas of my life. And I just feel like this one's a really a fun one for gaming, but it's also something that as I talk about it, I think other people can relate to it, all the things. I hope that makes sense. Um, I also think that it can, depending, let's say, I'm still trying to figure out how I do it, but I'd like to create a streaming time, maybe one day where I am doing the streaming, probably when it might be when I'm streaming with somebody else, as long as they're comfortable. I'd obviously let them know what the vibe is, or when I'm doing solo games to say like, hey, I am. Wow, I'm blanking on even explaining what I do. My goodness. Basically, I often say that I'm a connections coach. I help you create the self trust and self confidence with yourself to be able to form deeper, lasting connections, because all of those things really do start with the relationship with ourselves. It sounds cliche. I'm not saying that you can't be loved or love other people if you don't love yourself, but I'm saying relationships are much easier when you do know and love yourself and accept yourself and understand why you do the things that you do and those type of things, what things you are willing to deal with and what you're not. Having those internal boundaries and values helps you have better relationships overall in your life. It might sound really complicated or maybe really simple. It's both and. Uh, but yeah, I just want to create a space where it's like, hey, yes, I'm gaming, I'm having fun. You can come and give me a jump scare, all those things. And it's a place where you can really talk about your life. A lot of times I see that people keep it really light, which is fine, especially when you're streaming. I don't expect people to just like dump everything online, but create a space where it's like, hey, if you're not having a good day and you do want to kind of process it or whatnot, or be able to create those relationships where you do feel like you have somebody to reach out to outside of just gaming. um I feel like that's important. So again, I hope that makes sense. um so excuse me, have guests on to talk about to them and to ask them, about their dreams, how they were able to achieve these things, or why they're doing it, all of these different things. So I'd love to talk to streamers who have created a tight knit community. I have three people four really, that come to my mind right now, which is, I'm going to forget his last name. So I'm just going to say Johnny. I think it's Boast, but I don't know. I met him through TikTok. I haven't been able to see his stream since I'm working again, but he streams and his community is great, in his Discord and all these things. He's so good. He is so welcoming when you come in. Him and his family are just great. His wife will hop on and play, and it's a really fun, lifting environment, and they truly care. And then we have my friend Cassie. She's been really pursuing this recently as well. She does really good. She's good about getting people's real names and doing those things where I struggle because I don't know where the boundaries are. So this is the other reason why I'm like, oh, let's talk about it. Let's share it. Let's explain kind of what I'm doing, because for me, I think I will have more written out boundaries for myself and for other people, because I'm assuming there are other neurodivergent people like me who really want to game with other people. They want to interact on streams and things, but not knowing those social cues, not wanting to become overbearing or, those type of things, because that's what I have struggled with. And I would like to help other people learn and help them. I've been, like I said, very welcomed in by multiple different people into the gaming community. And I so appreciate that, because that was not my first initial experience of the gaming community. So now I really want to pay that forward and utilize the skills that I have to help other people and, create connections. So that leads us to, where are we going in the future, or, what are the things that I've been thinking about for now. uh, Really, it comes down to figuring out how this integrates, like I said, live, set time, certain things. I think one of the things that I haven't done is share things like this, but in short form content about how gaming has been helpful to me, and the fact that it's not a waste of time. I will say I used to think I didn't have super strong opinions, I guess, like, not that everybody who games is just wasting time, but I did think that there were some people who were doing it too much and all these things. And uh so it's taken me a while. So if you're someone out there who's like, oh my gosh, gaming, like it's a waste of time, you're not being productive, all those other things, I hear you. You probably didn't make it this far into the episode, but if you did and you're still skeptical, I get it. I would also like to talk about that part of it, the boundaries. My partner and I, it's opened up really good conversations between him and I, because he's been gaming a lot more recently as well, because he has friends who game. And the difference is, because he travels for work and things like that, and just the way that his brain works, when he gets on to play a game, he plays for multiple hours at a time, like 3 to 5, sometimes 8 hours at a time, taking little breaks in between. Versus for me, it was more like an hour to two daily, or multiple times during the week, but only for an hour or two at a time, because that's the time that allowed. That's when my friends were on, those type of things. Um, so it's really good, because it opens up all these different conversations if you're aware that that's something that you should and can have a conversation about. Some of these things are intuitive for people. There are some things that I am intuitive about. Boundaries has not been one of those. That's one of the things that I have really had to work on. If you are someone who really wants to go in depth on boundaries and all those different things, I will say Mark Manson, just, I don't know, within the few days, one of the recent podcast episodes they did on the Solved podcast. I think you can get that anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify. I'm pretty sure they have it on YouTube and all those things as well. They just did a Solved episode on boundaries, and I've been listening to that at work. I was like, "Ooh, what fun time! Synchronicity, all these things are coming up." So that could just be a really good resource as well. So the vision for the future is to find a way to connect these things in a way that's in alignment, still allows me to have fun, doesn't make gaming just about business or any of those things, but it allows me to show up when I'm streaming my gaming and things, and still bring this part of me that is so passionate about personal growth, about healing, about having real conversations, going deep, and all of those things, even if I'm not necessarily doing that while I'm playing the game. The way that I plan on doing that is, I do already have a Facebook community. I haven't been great about staying active in it. This is where I think this could also be helpful. But I have a Discord. I've been learning a lot about that over the last year, I had a friend who really helped me kind of with the ins and outs and things. So shout out to Jen. If you've seen our other podcast, we had Brandy and Jen in the mornings. Gosh, I can't even remember how it was. BJ in the morning is was the thing. It was, I think it was a hilarious. We thought it was funny, pun intended. Where was I going with that? Okay, so Discord. I am trying to figure out the right vehicle mechanism thing for the communities. I am someone who you will see does not like to settle down to one thing because so I just understand the nuances and why people only use certain platforms and all these different things. But I also understand that I need to pick one and to grow my community on it. And it needs to be one that I feel in alignment with as well. And so we're going to be trialing, erroring that. We're going to be playing around. I'm going to add things into my Discord server. I'm going to start putting that in places so that people can get there. Um, and then I want to learn a lot about the YouTube communities. I'm very excited that that's a part of YouTube now. Obviously, it's where the main place where I'm posting this podcast. Uh, and I look forward to doing YouTube lives. Shout out to everybody, all the 50, I think I have 53 subscribers now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. So now I have the ability to go live, but then I was struggling because I'm like, oh no, I can't really use this channel to go live to game though. So like that's going to throw everything off. And that's really what continued to kickstart this. And like, oh, why don't I just do an episode on this, explain why it matters to me, and then just open it up to the fact that like that might be something that I do on here. Really, what I'll probably end up doing and utilizing lives for is to do the podcast episodes live. And then, from my understanding, I'm going to reach out to a good friend of mine and Lisa, really blanking on names right now, and talk to her. She has her YouTube channel. She's done really amazing with it, building her community and all these different things. But I believe she goes live and does her podcast, and then she downloads it and then puts it into the podcast. So that's probably the main thing that will happen. But I'd love to open it up and just create different ways for people to interact because all of us have something. Some people are going to prefer to just come in and have a Q&A or to talk and things like that. Some people would rather come in and watch some gaming, and then as that's happening, talking about those, create some safety there and get to know people through that way before they go deep. Really, again, like I said, very, very nuanced. And you might think you're one way and find out that it's the other. That's been me the last really the last 3 years. I thought that I knew so much about myself. I had this big event that happened that stripped me down to my core. I questioned everything about who I was as a person, my identity, and I had to do a lot of work to really trust myself again, to really get curious and learn about myself so that I would stop fearing myself, stop being so judgmental and angry and all these things, which went out and it affected my relationships everywhere else because when I was so judgmental and afraid of myself, it also caused me to feel that way about other people, or they perceived that I was viewing them that way because they could feel the feelings that I had towards myself. So it's again why it matters so deeply to me, and we'll figure it out. So I would love feedback if you guys have any questions or anything like that. I am totally open. Like I said, I would love gaming recommendations. I have not played Arc Raider. I have been enjoying Delta Force. Um, Still playing some COD. It's got updates and all that has just been very interesting. Fortnite, Ghost Watchers, and then some other standalone things. I love It Takes Two, but since we moved the PlayStation 5 out, which is what we had it on, and I was playing with my partner on, um, I wanted to start streaming it. So I have it on I have it on the computer. You get to play with somebody for free if you have it, but he hasn't wanted to play it. Sad. He's, if he listens to this, he's gonna be like, that's not the thing. I know. It's just lower on our priority thing. And so just saying, if somebody else wants to play that, I'm down. I think it's very fun. It's very interesting. So I've yapped enough. Hopefully you got the vision. You understand. If you have questions, drop them below. I would love to know what you guys do outside of, I don't know, like, what do you do for connection? Do you have something, whether it's going to yoga class or whatnot? And if you do those things, how do you go past just acquaintances? So I think that's where a lot of people end up just staying at that level and not going deeper. Probably sound like I'm sharing his stuff way too much, but Mark Manson also has a solved episode on adult friendships. Really good, goes into the science and all these different things of that. So if you like to nerd out on those things that to help you understand the social parts of it, that's really good as well. Mel Robbins has a few different episodes that are really good on this as well, talking about the connections. And her book is really good. The Let Them Theory kind of touches on these different things as well. So, yeah. At the end of the day, I think a lot of us are looking to find our place, to belong, to use our skills, to feel needed, but also to have fun, to let loose, and just exist around other people that we enjoy being around. That has been so healing for me to find these places where I never expected to be accepted and that I never thought that I could be good at. And to be very clear, I'm still not really good at some of these games. The more I try to get good at them, the less I enjoy them, but the more that I show up and just am in the present and playing and then just learning through that play, then I build those skills. I have the enjoyment and all of those things. It's like this perfect combination. But it definitely is one of those things that it takes time and learning about yourself and catching yourself when you are getting way too in the like competitive or I've got to be the best type of thing. It is simple but not easy, is what I will say. So I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here. I truly mean it. This is not just meant to be a place for me to come and talk and process all these things just for myself, but for it to be meaningful for you and give you tools for your life, all those different things. So I hope that this episode was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.